Have you ever felt like you're being pulled in a dozen different directions at once? Whether you're coaching a team, teaching a class, or even just managing a big project. You know that struggle. You've got way too many goals and just not enough time. Well, today, we're going to unpack a really powerful strategic tool that's designed to bring some serious focus to all that chaos.
So, here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we'll get into the core problem, that constant battle against the clock. Then, I'm going to introduce the strategic blueprint that can help you win that fight. We'll actually build one, step by step, figure out what separates a pretty good plan from a truly great one, and then we'll see how this tool can be used for pretty much any goal you've got.
All right, let's dive right in with a challenge that, let's be honest, everyone faces. That classic battle between what you want to do and the time you actually have to do it.
Okay, I want you to imagine you're a coach for a youth sports team. You've got this huge list of critical skills you have to teach: dribbling, passing, teamwork, the rules, sportsmanship, the whole shebang. But you've only got a couple of hours of practice each week. How on earth do you decide what to focus on? It's overwhelming, right? Where do you even begin?
This is exactly where our strategic blueprint comes in. It's called a goal emphasis chart, and trust me, it's a beautifully simple way to bring order to that chaos and turn all your good intentions into a solid, actionable plan.
So, what is it, really? At its core, this chart is your master plan. It's a visual tool that helps you decide exactly how much focus or how much time you're going to dedicate to each of your goals as your team or you moves through different stages. It's all about being intentional with your time.
Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually make one? Well, it's surprisingly straightforward. Let's get practical and actually build one of these together, step by step.
So, making your own chart really just boils down to 3 simple steps. First, we're going to define the journey by setting our levels. Second, we list out all our destinations. Those are our goals. And third, we map the actual route by assigning percentages. And that last step, that's where the real strategic magic happens. Step 1 is all about defining the journey. What are the different stages of progression? If you're a teacher, this might just be grade levels. But if you're a coach, or maybe you're learning a new skill yourself, it could be something like beginner, intermediate, and advanced. These levels are going to become the columns across the top of your chart.
Next up, we list everything we want to accomplish down the left side of the chart. These are going to be your rows. And here's a super important tip: try to group similar goals together. This isn't just about being neat, it actually forces you to think about the big picture and make sure you're building a truly balanced plan, not just some random to-do list.
And this is what the basic skeleton of our chart looks like. See? We've got our goals on the left: dribbling, passing, teamwork, and strategy, and then our skill levels right across the top. Right now, it's just an empty grid, kind of like a blank canvas for our strategic masterpiece.
Now for the most important part: filling in the numbers. For each level, so for each column, you're going to distribute percentages across your goals based on how much emphasis each one really deserves at that specific stage. And here's the absolute rule: each column has to add up to exactly 100%. This is what forces you to make those conscious and, sometimes tough decisions about your priorities.
So, let's fill in our beginner column. Check out how the focus is way skewed toward the fundamentals. We've put 40% on dribbling and 30% on passing. Teamwork gets a little less at 20%, and that high-level strategy, it only gets 10%. We're building a really strong foundation before we even think about moving on to the more complex stuff.
And this visual just makes the strategy crystal clear, doesn't it? You can see at a single glance that for our beginners, a massive 70% of our time is going straight into those core physical skills. It's not just a plan, it's a very deliberate choice. This right here, this is what strategic focus actually looks like.
So, you've built your chart. But what really separates a plan that just kind of checks the boxes from one that is truly exemplary? What takes it from just being average to being an A-plus plan?
Well, let's look at the difference. On one hand, an average plan can feel really chaotic. The goals are kind of random, the focus is all over the place. But an exemplary plan, it is intentional. The goals are balanced, they're logically organized, and, this is the most important part, they all serve a single core philosophy.
But what do we really mean by balanced? It doesn't mean spending equal time on everything. A truly balanced plan addresses all these different types of development. You've got your physical skills, like passing a ball, your mental skills, like understanding strategy, and your social skills, like sportsmanship and teamwork. It's about developing the whole person, not just one part of them.
Okay, Let's get to our final section and see how this amazing idea can be applied to almost any long-term project you can think of. Because this is so much bigger than just sports or a PE class.
Seriously, this tool is incredibly versatile. Just think about learning a new language. You'd start with a ton of focus on vocabulary, then shift to grammar, then to conversation. Or imagine managing a big work project. You'd allocate time from research to development to launch. See? The framework is exactly the same. It's a universal blueprint for mastering just about anything.
So in the end, this chart isn't about limiting what you can do. As the slide says, it's about making sure you actually achieve the goals you set for yourself. It transforms that scattered wish list into a concrete roadmap for success. So, I guess the real question is, what's the first big, ambitious goal you're going to build a blueprint for?